After leaving everybody on a cliffhanger last week, would we see Triple H on Raw this week to explain his actions? No. And for some reason, I'm not surprised. Get ready, because it's time for WGS-TV Reviews, Monday Night Raw. Hey YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to work.
Hi, this is TNA Impact Wrestling Superstar Rockstar Spud, and you're watching WGS-TV at www.youtube.com/WrestleGamer.
What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to another episode of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer. I am your friendly neighborhood WrestleGamer. One of the major talking points about Raw over the past week was the appearance of Triple H and his involvement in the Universal Championship match. WWE left the show last week on a major cliffhanger with everyone expecting to see a continuation of it with Triple H, but it was limited to a conversation with Mick Foley had with Stephanie McMahon backstage. The possible scenario WWE could be playing out for Clash of the Champions involving the game once again, costing Seth Rollins the Universal Championship, but it's an educated guess at this point. But let's get off from what might happen, and instead, let's talk about Raw. Monday Night Raw would open up this week with the Kevin Owens over-the-top Universal Championship win celebration. I will say this, Owens was able to immediately draw heat from the crowd who were originally chanting, you deserve this, and they were originally behind the prize fighter, which speaks to his overall mic skills improving in WWE. It was only a matter of time before Seth Rollins would storm out to confront Stephanie McMahon over what Triple H did last week, and with the exchange Rollins had with Owens, I kind of figured that they were going to set something up with them, and after a physical confrontation with Owens, Stephanie was ready to suspend the former WWE World Heavyweight Champion when Mick Foley would overrule her in a sense and set up the main event of Clash of the Champions with Kevin Owens defending the Universal Championship against Seth Rollins. To me, I'm not surprised. Backstage, Stephanie was giving it to Mick a bit about overruling her decision, but was intrigued about the main event match her general manager set up for the Clash. Owens, still irate over the decision, would appear in frame and after verbally disrespecting the hardcore legend, would get put in a match against Sami Zayn. So much for Battleground being their final confrontation. Chris Jericho would show up next and get put in a match against Seth Rollins, and Jericho's face after hearing that was absolutely spot on hilarious. I loved it. First match of this week was Charlotte taking on Bayley. I knew this match was going to be good. Charlotte and Bayley have had some amazing matches in NXT in the past, so I was hoping for a good, strong opening match, and they delivered in my personal opinion. I'm not really sure what they're doing or going to do with Dana Brooks since she lost the past 2 weeks, and after she inadvertently cost Charlotte the match after Bayley hit the Bayley to belly, Charlotte slapped the taste out of Brooks' mouth, so I'm not sure if they did this to write her out of the gimmick or not. It's really hard to say at this point. Up next was Bo Dallas taking on Kyle Roberts. This basically was a talent enhancement match. My guess is, since we saw what appeared to be the start of a new gimmick for Bo, that they're going to run him through some talent enhancement matches to possibly see if the gimmick will go over or not. You really can't make that determination right now, since this was the initial week of seeing the new gimmick. It's going to need some time. Finish of the match was Bo hitting a modified crossroads on Roberts to pick up the win. Backstage, Chris Jericho was sucking up to Kevin Owens, but anyone who's followed wrestling as long as I have could tell a double cross will be coming over the Universal Championship, and soon. Up next was Seth Rollins taking on Chris Jericho. I asked a question on Facebook last night. Is Seth Rollins a face now, or is he still a tweener of sorts? I still can't figure it out. Be that as it may, Rollins and Jericho worked a solid match as expected, so no complaints from your friendly neighborhood WrestleGamer. Having Rollins still use the Pedigree as his signature could be viewed as a jab towards Triple H with their now pending storyline, and one would think would really kick into gear after Clash of the Champions. Up next was match 3 of the best of 7 series with Cesaro and Sheamus. He has Cesaro play up a back injury he suffered from last week and even had the same medical tape he uses on his shoulder on his lower back as well. With Sheamus hitting the Brogue kick on Cesaro to pick up the win and improve his score to 3-0 makes me wonder a couple of things. Are they going to have Sheamus take the series 4-0, or will they draw it out by having Cesaro to take the next 3 matches and have the finale of the series on a pay-per-view? possibly Survivor Series. Would that even fit in the timeline for Survivor Series? Up next was the Shining Stars taking on Enzo, Amore, and Big Cass. First thing I would like to say is, what in the hell were Cass and Enzo doing simulating labor during a promo? I get it. It was Labor Day yesterday. It was entertaining, weird, and my brain still hurts from it. Now, with Epico scoring the win over Enzo with the dirty pin would lead me to believe that an angle between these two teams is forthcoming. Enzo giving birth to Invisible Baby on Raw, that image will never leave me. Up next was Ann Esposito taking on Nia Jax. Even though this was basically just another talent enhancement match for Nia, Ann sure looked hot in them Daisy Duke shorts. Finish of the match was Nia hitting her modified Samoan Slam on Ann to pick up the win. Then shortly thereafter, we would see Nia confronting Alicia Fox, who apparently went on a tirade of sorts, and I really don't know what else to make of that. I don't think anybody really understands what to make of Alicia Fox and her gimmick in WWE. It's constantly changing, like a cheetah, or a chameleon rather. Up next, the club apparently wanted to show everyone what the New Day would look like when they retire them as tag team champions, so they brought out the Old Day, which were stereotypical old people generalizations and humor. They sure gave Big Old E some sagginess, if you know what I mean. Ha, ha, ha. New Day promptly and comedically responded to them, and after dancing, old Big E took a shot to regular Big E with his walking cane, which had no effect on him, which led to the New Day quickly disposing of the Old Day with old Big E getting the Midnight Hour from regular Big E and regular Xavier. What did I watch? Up next was Darren Young taking on Jinder Mahal. When I saw that Titus O'Neil was on commentary, it was almost automatic that he was going to get involved in this match, to which he did, but it didn't pan out as Young hit the gut check of Mahal to pick up the win. I did like the post-match confrontation with Young and O'Neil, a nice way to add some intensity and fire to a rather bland and bleak storyline, to be honest. Up next was Braun Strowman taking on Sin Cara. Sin Cara apparently wanted this match due to Braun Strowman disrespecting Lucha Libre when he unmasked Americos last week. It wasn't a straight-up squash match per se, as Strowman got the win via count-out, but he still got the last word on Sin Cara. Up next, Sasha Banks had some news she wanted to deliver, as she even stated on her Twitter that it wasn't going to be good news. Banks would go on to talk about the women's revolution and the women in wrestling history, all the while choking back her emotions and tears, as she especially went to talk about SummerSlam, which started to make everyone believe that she was either going to have to retire or take an extended leave. However, with Dana Brooke going out there to confront the boss, kind of put a damper on those thoughts, as the boss hit the bank statement on Brooke and stated that the bad news was for Charlotte, as she's coming for her title at Clash of the Champions. The incomparable Lance Moss pointed out on the HWR Facebook page that as Banks was leaving the ring, she was holding her lower back. So now, what becomes of Bayley? Does she get pushed to the side, or does the match become a triple threat for the title? Banks really had a lot of people going, including your friendly neighborhood wrestle gamer, into thinking she was going to retire, and pulled an amazing swerve, in my opinion, which speaks to her skills on the mic and her ability to work the crowd. So nice job, Sasha. Up next was the main event with Sami Zayn taking on Kevin Owens, and as I have already stated in this commentary, WWE just chucked the Battleground match, which was supposed to be their final encounter, out the window. Beyond that, as have all of their matches have been in the past, this was an exceptional match and fitting for a Raw main event. Zayn would once again play up his ankle issues from the past 2 weeks, which is right around the tail end of the match. One spot I definitely want to mention is the half Nelson suplex Owens took on the outside. Nice. The finish of the match was Owens hitting a powerbomb, a Garden Variety powerbomb, not his usual pop-up brand, to pick up the win, and then out would come Roman Reigns to a chorus of boos. So apparently this was an IWC Pro crowd to basically set up a match between Owens and Reigns for next week, and if Reigns wins, which more than likely will happen barring any appearances from Rusev since that storyline didn't have a definite conclusion to it, he will be added to the title match at Clash of the Champions, making the match a triple threat. A decision that really didn't go over well with the fans, to say the least. Overall score on Raw this week gets a 3.85 out of 5, with best match of the night definitely going to the main event once again, with best segment going to Sasha Banks and how she played the crowd, with worst segment of the night going to Enzo pretending to give birth. That image will haunt me forever. Don't forget, I go live every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Central Time with Nick Nene Fuquay and Mark Smartraha with Sports Entertainment Tonight, our live call-in wrestling talk show. So if there's a wrestling topic you want to talk to us about, then call into our show on Thursday night or ask it in our live chat room. We'd love to interact with you guys. Speaking of that, what I want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week? I definitely want to hear what you guys out there have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. WGS-TV is on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You guys want to ask me questions? Links will be provided in the description box below. Don't forget, I'll have a couple of videos in the annotations at the end of this video for you guys to check out as well. And if you want to see more from your old pal, the Wrestle Gamer, here on WGS-TV, then hit that subscribe button down below. So with that being said, I am your friendly neighborhood Wrestle Gamer, and I will see you at the next Warp Zone. Bye, guys!
Wasting all that pizza on these pitiful people. Could have brought it to me. Mine go up!
Down. You too.